Welcome to this yoga workshop for balancing the menstrual cycle. My name is Jade, and today I'm going to be leading you through a sequence of yin and yang yoga postures, working with the influence of traditional Chinese medicine and the 5 elements, and using this wisdom to help us connect to nature, to connect to our cycles, and to help even out any discomfort you may be feeling, any symptoms of PMS, or also evening out the flow of your menses. We're going to be working with elements that you might not have heard of before, so I'm going to intro them for you first. So, of utmost importance is fire. Fire element governs the heart. Our hearts are our empress. They have the seat of power in our body, which moves our blood. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the blood that moves through our heart is also connected with the blood that moves through our womb. So when we listen to our hearts and we connect our heart space into our creation space, and we have a good conversation between the two, then we have a much more vital, open space that is receptive to life and that is also at ease with our emotions. So heart energy is something we're going to be working on, opening the heart space, encouraging an ease of flow of our blood through our whole system. The next energy we're going to be focusing on is wood. And specifically in Chinese medicine, the wood element relates to our liver. Our livers sit on the right hand side here, just underneath our rib cage. And in TCM, the liver is the house of blood. So whilst the empress is the mover, the heart, the house of blood, the liver, stores and controls how much blood is in circulation in our system, again through our whole system. So what we're going to be doing is working with liver energy to make sure that we have the right amount of blood circulating for our menstruation. And this is also particularly useful for women who are going into their menopause, who will no longer be bleeding in this way and will be using and conserving their resources of blood to help support their vitality in other ways. We'll also be working with earth. Earth is the primordial mother, the holder, the vessel and the cave. And the organ system which we'll be working with is that of spleen. Spleen lives over on the left-hand side. Your spleen helps to control how much fluid is kept within the channels and the smooth moving of that fluid. Now this is all kinds of fluid, so not just the blood that's in circulation in your veins and your arteries, and of course also in your womb space, but also the movement of other fluids, of lymph in particular, and also of water, and the amount of fluid that is circulating through our connective tissue system. And that's why we're going to be working with Yin Yoga, because when we hold the poses for a long time, we're going to be affecting our connective tissue body and helping to get these areas feeling juicy, rich, and well opened, so that there's no tension in those tissues, which stops that feeling of lusciousness and which kind of restricts the amount of water that's flowing through. If you imagine when we stretch deep, the tissues are going to ease, and that's going to allow water molecules and fluid to move in a much more easy fashion. Water, of course, is another element then that we're going to be working with. And in particular, we're going to be paying attention to our kidneys. Kidneys are obviously situated behind us. They're snuggled in just underneath the back of your rib cage. And in traditional Chinese medicine, they believe the kidneys are your storehouses, your seeds of Jing, which is an essential essence for life. It's like we were born with these seeds full of energy to propel us through life, through the world, and especially for women to help us give life as well. So we need to make sure that we have adequate and vital stores of Jing essence to move us through our childbearing years. So particularly focusing on these elements of fire in the heart, of wood in the liver, of earth and spleen, and of water in the kidneys. So I encourage you to move with ease. This is something that I say to so many people who come to take the women's workshops that I do, is that our menstruation is something that can be pain-free, easy, and even enjoyable. It's a time for yourself, it's a time to contemplate on what we create, and of course also what we naturally let go of if we are not holding life within us. If you are pregnant, then take all of the poses with great gentleness, especially the forward folds. It will depend on what stage in your pregnancy you're at. Obviously your bump might get in the way at certain points. This is not particularly a prenatal class, but it really can help to support your hormones as you're going through the different stages of your pregnancy. If you're in menopause or premenopause, this is fantastic because it helps to balance the elements that are going to be at play, that are going to be fluctuating as your hormones find a new way to express themselves in your body, particularly when working with heat and fire, and especially your triple heater, so this is why we get these hot flushes. Some of the supported back bends can be really nice and cooling and can ease any tension we can feel, any emotion that may have felt locked in your chest around this time. So, the invitation, once again, is to move with ease, to breathe as you move, and to enjoy. So let's start. We're going to come into a squat pose. And let's ease into it. So I like to have my toes facing wide for my squat. And I'm going to slowly shift my weight side to side, moving through my feet. If you need to have your hands on the floor to help stabilize you, because we can get a little bit wobbly here, that's absolutely fine. As you move, pay attention to your breathing. Feel into the soles of your feet. Feel how your feet articulate on the earth. You can spread your toes. I like to rest my elbows on my knees when I do this. And then come into a place in the center where you can rest for a while. And a lot of people are happy to take the prayer pose as they sit here because it helps with a gentle press into your knees so they don't kind of fall to the center. What I like as well is the option of holding the wrists. This is really nice because our heart lines, the heart meridian channel, runs through the inside of the arms and into our heart itself. And so when we hold from our palms to our wrists, we're making a lovely connection with that heart meridian line. Close your eyes if you feel stable enough to do so. Tune into your breathing. Feel as you squat that there's the energy of earth drawing you down, and maybe even an effortless lightness drawing you up through your center line with a soft belly. Making sure your knees are happy, and of course your hips. You're going to be feeling a lot in this area. That's what the pose is supposed to do. But if you find it's a little bit too much, a block can be really helpful. So you can place your seat bones on a block, and this can help support you, and you'll still get that gentle squeeze into your hip creases. Keep breathing. Smile. It really helps. And feel again that energy of earth drawing you down, and then your own lightness of being pulling you up like a silver thread all the way through your spine up towards the sky. Take 3 more breaths here. Softening your shoulders. Last breath. Good. If you're on a block, removing. And then slowly starting to edge side to side. And then walk yourself into a comfortable downward facing dog. Take time to step your dog out. You can bend your knees deep. Playing with straightening one leg and bending the other. Really feeling into the texture of your hips. And then this is going to feel really nice. I walk my hands forward a little more, and then I bring my weight over my hands. You can lower your knees if you wish, or you can stay up and slowly sink your hips down into an upward facing dog. If you would like, the knees come down and you can untuck your toes. If your low back is sensitive, bending your elbows. So working at whatever level feels good for you. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe you're on your elbows. Wherever you're at with this pose, think about drawing that heart space forwards and sinking your hips towards the floor. So again, we've got these dual energies of rising in the heart space and sinking in the hip space. Take one more deep breath here, wherever you're at. Bending your knees, sending your weight back into a comfortable and settled child's pose. Take 3 breaths here. Enjoying the sensation of your lower back being massaged by your breath. And then we're going to come into down and up dog again, and we're going to feel into the movement of your pelvic bowl, of your hip space. So setting your hands in front of you, starting from hands and knees. Before you even push into your down dog, having your feet active, just feel into the tuck and tilt of your pelvis. Try and keep your upper back as neutral as possible, so we're not coming into full cat-cow, but we're just moving our lower abdominal space and checking in with how the texture of our hips, of our pelvis, and all of the organs that are contained within feel like. You can roll from side to side. So drawing one hip forward and then the other. Imagine that you are swishing water around a bowl, and then see if you can go the other way. Keep breathing as you move. This is like a massage for your abdominal muscles, and very good if you experience strong cramping during your period. And then we work with the same thing in our downward facing dog. So pressing your hips high, slowly extending your legs to however long you would like. And then working with this tilt of your pelvis, you'll come forwards a little bit towards your hands as you tuck your pubic bone towards your face. And then I tend to lift up onto my toes and tip my pelvis so that my tailbone reaches towards the sky. As I come forwards, as my tailbone tucks under and my pubic bone draws forwards, I come over my arms, then my toes lift, tailbone reaches to the sky, and I undulate through my spine. Take a few more goes at this. Feel that your movement can start at your hips and then move through the whole of the rest of your body. Hips tilt, rolling forwards, hips tuck, rolling back. One more time. Good. Slowly releasing your knees down towards the floor and taking child's pose again and just checking in with how you're feeling. Taking conscious breaths. Imagine sending your breath down into your lower back, perhaps even a little higher, imagining where your kidneys are sat either side of your spine and feeling that as you breathe, your kidneys can breathe with you, that they could expand subtly and then settle into their little home. Take 3 more breaths here, enjoying this connection to the earth with your forehead resting against the ground, just underneath your yoga mat. Perhaps saying a small wish for yourself, asking Mother Earth to be with you and to guide you through your practice. Good. Then coming up to sit and taking a block. Place your block in front of you. We're going to take melting heart pose. This is really good now that we've got some movement going on in the pelvis. Hopefully we've eased any stagnation here. We're going to draw chi from our hips up into our heart space as if we were going to pour nectar into the heart. A melting heart pose is really good as well for easing that sense of heaviness or stagnation we can get, especially post-period. So, I walk forwards. I have the block placed just behind the heels of my hands, and then I walk down onto my elbows. For some of you, this is where you'll happily stay. If you wish though, you can come all the way down. I need to bring mine a little bit further back, so that you can rest your chest on the block, so that your chin comfortably comes down over the edge. Forehead can rest on the floor, and if your shoulders are uncomfortable, you can bring your elbows out to the sides. This is melting heart pose. Your choice if you would like to tuck your toes if you feel more stable. I enjoy having them untucked with a gentle press into the tops of my feet. My belly is relaxed. Think about softening through your shoulders. As you see, as time passes, I get more and more relaxed here. And maybe you would even want to turn your head to the side. So as time and gravity allows, there should be an easing into this position. Maybe even a change of the arm position if it feels good, of bringing your arms out to the side. For me, I'm actually happier with my elbows resting in a kind of surrender. This is nice also because the heart lines, those meridians that we looked at earlier, are now resting against the earth, this idea that they're being nourished by the earth's presence. Keeping your belly soft. Your jaw and your face relaxed. And perhaps the pose has invited you deep enough that you can remove the block. Your choice. Worth a try. And also maybe worth turning your head in the other direction, so your neck is evenly opened. Stay here for 3 more breaths. When you're ready, walking your elbows in slowly, slowly. Hands back and come into a child's pose. I like to bring my arms behind me for this one. Feel the relief in your shoulders as they fall over your thighs and your knees. Send your breath into the back of your heart space and allow for a feeling of relaxation to fill your entire body. Notice if there's been any change in temperature. Generally, I find that this pose warms me up a little bit. Take 3 more breaths here. Lovely. Bringing your arms forward, coming up steadily into a tabletop. We're going to take that chi and energy which we've just moved into the heart, and we're going to give a little bit of a twist to your upper back and heart lines to make sure that the heart is evenly circulating this rich chi-filled blood through the upper body. So what you're going to do is keep your left hand down on the mat and then rise your right arm up towards the sky, twisting through the front of your chest, stretching your fingers to the sky, and then diving through the space between your hands and your knee, placing the outside of your shoulder just underneath your face. Take a breath here. And then on your inhale, sweep your arm up again. Another time, dive through. Taking a breath. Reaching up as you inhale. Take an exhale here and reach towards your hips. Inhale, sweep the front of your wrist forwards and give a little press into your wrist. Here we're opening through the front of the wrist, and this area can get quite tight, especially if we're typing a lot. Then slowly walk your hand back around. And you can even gently press the upper part of your wrist onto the floor too. Good. Then we do the other side. So left hand lifts, extending through the whole of your arm, through the whole of your chest. Fingertips reach to the sky, and then dive through in a graceful motion, bringing the back of your shoulders to the floor. Taking a breath here again. And then on your inhale, pressing into the hand by your face to rise all the way up. Exhale, diving through. Breath. And then reaching up. As you exhale this time, bring your fingertips towards your hip, nice opening for your shoulder, and then slide your wrist forwards. Press gently into the heel of your hand. If it doesn't make its way all the way to the mat, that's fine. Good. And then walking the hand around. couple of times. And then if you wish, just opening the back of the wrist as well. Good. Easing here. And then I really like this after this move is to warm my hands. Feel the heat and chi that's generated when you warm your palms. And then I bring one hand over my heart and one hand over my abdomen, uniting the spaces of womb and heart. Take 3 deep breaths here, feeling the beating of your heart. Feeling this place of creation, of enjoyment, of deep woman. Good. Releasing your hands. So now we're going to take frog pose. Frog pose is excellent for stimulating the liver meridians. They run along the inside lines of the legs. So set yourself up so you're sitting in a comfortable kneeling position. I like to sit sideways on my mat so that my knees stay padded, because I'm pretty sensitive on the inside of my knees. So bring your knees as wide as they will comfortably go, and then walk your hands forwards. Make sure you have your bolster ready at hand. So I'm going to just put it here. Walk your hands forwards so your hips come in line with your knees, and see if you can just snuggle yourself a little deeper. Then, once you've gone as wide as you comfortably can, walk your heels out so they're right behind your knees. You're creating like 90-degree angles here, and your feet are flexed. Now it's time for the bolster. Slide it in just underneath your belly. And then this should feel really nice. You get to rest your weight onto the bolster. Maybe your chin on the backs of your hands. Here's a good time to check in and make sure that you're relaxed in your buttocks, in your lower back, and especially in your shoulders, because if we're holding tension here, it translates through the whole body. You can even turn your head to one side if that's comfortable for you and you have enough space on your bolster. And this is where we'll be for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Bring your awareness to your feet. Consciously relaxing your feet, soles of your feet, tops of your feet. Drawing your awareness up through your legs, making sure there's no pain in your knees. And imagine settling into those inner lines of your thighs. Relaxing the entire area around your pelvic floor. Softening your tailbone. Relaxing your pubic bone. Allowing this entire space of the lower abdomen to feel receptive and relaxed. And of course, allowing your belly to settle onto the bolster. Feel as you breathe, your breath ripples onto the bolster where it's laid. And you may even feel a gentle rise and fall of your lower back. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck is relaxed. Feeling the muscles of your face are soft. Checking in with your jaw, the muscles around your eyes and your temples. I find this pose very soothing, especially when I have enough props so that it's not a very, very intense sensation. So do make sure you have sufficient propping that you're not getting a burning on the inside of your thighs. Remembering no pain in the knees. When you're ready, turning your head to the other side if you have had your cheek resting on the bolster. As time goes by in the pose, you will find that you'll sink deeper and deeper through layers of tension. This is how Yin Yoga can positively influence our practice. By spending time in the pose, you're allowing for a repatterning of your fascial, your connective tissue and energetic system. I find as time goes by in the pose, I go through different levels of relaxation. The more we feel and the more we tune into how much we can feel, the better the mind-body connection is. And of course then, when we're really inhabited in ourselves, the better our understanding of what's going on in our system becomes. Okay, we've been here for long enough. Let's just take 3 more breaths here. Come out of the pose, walk your hands in underneath your shoulders and press into your hands. Before you move any more, draw your heels together behind you. And then walk further back. I then walk my knees in, can move your bolster to the side. And I like to just lie on my back after this one. Bring your hands to your hips, straighten your legs out, and enjoy the sensation. You may get a rush of feeling down your legs. This is a wonderful time with the hands placed over your abdomen to tune in to how you feel in your pelvis region, your uterus, your ovaries, and also, of course, your organs of digestion and elimination. Allow your breath to fill your lower abdomen. Again, this idea that you can massage your organs with your breath. And then we're going to take a supported back bend. So I've left my bolster at my side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my knees, use my hands to help me and rise my hips up. I'm going to reach through and move the bolster so that it comes right in underneath my hip bones. So know where your hip bones are and place the bolster directly under there, not too high under your waist and not too low under your bum or your thighs. And then, if you're comfortable to do so, straightening your legs. This is a lovely supported back bend. If you wish to take the full extension through your front body, because when we back bend, we open the front lines, you can bring your arms overhead. I like to hold on to opposite wrists, again, making contact with those heart meridian lines. You can make a similar shape with your legs as well by bringing the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. We'll be coming back to this shape a bit later in the practice, so if you want to have your legs straight, that's absolutely fine. This pose places our organs of reproduction right at the height of our shape. And there's this feeling here that when I lie here, any feeling of heaviness, of soreness, and also of tension held in the hips can kind of melt out, can pour down through my legs, can be released, as if water were being poured here and was slowly running in rivulets down my torso and my thighs. This is a wonderful supported back bend. In this, we're tonifying, which means squeezing the kidneys which sit back here. We're giving them a little bit of compression, which helps, it kind of massages the kidneys and allows for the natural curve of our lower back to be honored. This is really important when trying to support the health of our vitality, our youthfulness. Again, I'm focusing on deep breaths into my abdomen. Checking in with your shoulders and your jaw, making sure they're completely relaxed, that your neck is soft, that your chest and your heart space is open and unrestricted.
Taking 3 more breaths here. Slowly releasing your hands. And what we can do with this support is just take a very gentle child's pose, so bending one knee at a time, making sure your lower back is still supported by the bolster. Hug one knee into your chest at a time. This feels really good after the back bend. Lengthening through the back of your neck. Gentle hug of your knees to your chest. And then one at a time again, releasing your knees. One foot goes down to the floor, then the other. And then we're going to get ready to lift so we can move the bolster out from underneath us. So pressing into your feet, rising your hips, and then push the bolster out to the side. See if you can slowly, slowly come back down to the mat, bringing one vertebrae at a time until they all rest. And then once again, if you wish, you can hug your knees in towards your chest and maybe rock side to side. To come out of the pose, roll to one side and then use your hand and an extended top leg to bring you up to sit. From here we're going to take a forward fold, which will feel really nice after the back bend. And just a comfortable caterpillar forward fold in the Yin tradition. I always make sure with my forward folds that I draw the flesh of my buttocks out behind me. And then I slowly, slowly fold down over my legs. Notice that I'm not pulling my feet, but I'm just coming to rest. You can rest your hands upon your thighs if you like. That often reminds me to keep my legs relaxed. What we're doing with this pose is we're stretching all the way passively through the backs of the legs, through the spine, over the top of the head, and this is a water channel. We're also placing the heart at the height, the apex of the pose. And I often tune in to what's happening in the posterior aspect, the back space of my heart. If you need to, you can always turn your head from side to side. There are many prop options here as well. If you find that the back of your neck gets a little tired, you can bring a block between your knees to rest your head, or maybe you'll need it a shade higher. So 2 blocks. This can feel really nice. Or maybe you could work with your friend the bolster again and rest yourself on that. This feels really good because it gives weight to the tops of the thighs and the stomach meridian channel that runs through the front of the legs. One of the reasons we get very sweet cravings sometimes when we're near to our menstruation is because the stomach channel is craving that sweetness. This is the taste of earth. That feels really nice. I'm encouraging my shoulders to relax. And what's most important with this yin practice is to allow your mind to move freely through the sensations that you feel and try not to react to them too strongly. Sometimes we can have either a strong aversion or a move towards a sensation we really like. Maybe you've got a strong yoga practice already and you really want to pull those feet to come deeper into the pose. But see if you can be satisfied with something that's perhaps a little bit more subtle. It has an equal amount of worth to offer you. So staying in the forward fold. Just 3 more breaths here. Slowly releasing your hands and using your hands to help walk you up to sit. Feeling that natural extension through your spine, sitting up tall. And then moving the bolster out of your way. And this time behind you. This is one of my favorite poses, especially whilst I'm on my period itself, because it really helps to ease any crampy tension in the legs, in the back, and also, of course, in the stomach and, so ease any tension in my legs, in my back, in the stomach, and also the uterus area. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and snuggle your bolster really close to you. If you're working with any lower back issues, I suggest that you actually sit on a block at the end of your bolster. That makes sure that it's not such a strong back bend. And then come into a supported back bend here, soles of the feet together, knees wide. You can leave your hands over the crest of your hips, or the way I like to practice this is bringing my arms overhead, and there's a really nice opening here of your shoulders and those heart lines again. Settle yourself onto your bolster and your block. Make sure you're really comfortable. I also link my index fingers. I just find that's more comfortable. What I feel in this pose is, as well as a supported back bend here, is that I'm giving space to both my liver on the right and my spleen on my left as they're tucked under this flare of the rib cage. So I really focus my breath into these areas. Also, what's happening is the spleen lines also run through the inside of the legs, and they're getting a nice opening, remembering that the spleen channel governs the smooth movement of fluid. Especially good if you suffer with any bloating or water retention around your cycle. With each breath that you take, feel yourself sinking deeper into a receptive space, engaging with the flow of your life. Feel how this pose can help soothe any troublesome feelings in the mind or any difficult sensations in your body. This is an excellent pose as well, as it's a supported back bend for relaxing your nervous system. So if you find that you do tend to get tense at certain times in your cycle, this is an excellent pose for balancing those slightly nervy or agitated sensations. Feeling the resonance between the inner lines of your arms and the inner lines of your legs. It's like they're mirroring one another in their shape. Time to take just 3 more breaths here. Wherever you've arrived, allow yourself to relax fully into the pose. Releasing the hold of your arms if they are overhead, slowly letting them move down. And then use your hands to help scoop your thighs and your knees back to the center line. Maybe even walking your feet a little wider than your hips, letting your knees fall into one another for a moment before you come out of the pose. For this one, I like to roll to the side to come out. So I'm going to bring my right arm down to the side, and then I'm going to shuffle my hips on the block and let my knees roll. And then I'm going to slowly follow. As soon as you're ready, and you can take your time, push yourself up to sit. And move your props out of the way. Should feel really relaxed after this pose. Finally, we come to spinal twists. Twists are excellent for removing stagnation from around the belly area, and of course for opening across the chest. So we're working again with that heart and lower abdomen area. Of course, your liver and your spleen are going to get affected by the twists as well. So we're just going to take a very simple one-legged twist. Lying on your back, bring your left knee in towards your chest first. Keep the back of your neck long and loose and just hug your knee in. As you hug your knee to your chest, point the toes of your right foot away from you, feeling that nice opening through the front of your right hip. And then when you're ready, move the knee away so it's stacked right above your hip. Bring your right hand across, your left arm out to the side, and then think about picking your left hip up and over the midline. Slowly bringing it down either towards the floor, or you can bring a block underneath your knee if you would like. I tend to shift my hips back a little bit. This is much more comfortable for me. And in spinal twists, I tend to keep my head in neutral. It's your choice how you place your left arm. You can either have it resting comfortably out to the side with the palm open, or you can extend it up overhead, maybe with a little bend in the elbow, once again coming into those heart lines. I rest my right hand on my left knee. Here is an excellent opportunity to breathe into your lower and mid-abdomen. On this side in particular, we're feeling an opening over the spleen area and a gentle compression over the liver on the right. Bring your awareness to your breathing. Allow your mind to be housed in your breath. And let's take 5 breaths together here. Feeling the coolness of your inhale, the warmth of your exhale, and a softness moving through your body. Relinquishing any tension, enjoying this final breath here. Releasing your arm down, and then using a gentle engagement of your abdomen to help draw that left knee back to the center. I like to hug both knees in after a spinal twist, and I also like to bring my chin in and my forehead in towards my knees. And then release. This time, the left leg straightens out, your right knee comes into your chest, and give yourself a nice hug. Pointing the toes of the left foot away from you. And then preparing for a twist, bringing your right arm out to the side, your right knee above your hip. Think about picking your hip up and over. And as I do that, I shift back a little. I rest my left hand on my knee. I keep my upper spine and neck in a neutral position. And again, I'm going to sweep my extended arm up over my head. This feels really good through the armpit area and tricep. I'm just going to bend the elbow. This gives a lovely lengthening through side body. So this time, we're getting an opening over the liver space and a gentle compression over your spleen on the left. Don't worry if your shoulder is floating up off the ground, if it's up here. That's absolutely fine. What you might want to do though is prop with blocks or cushions underneath that floating arm. Or experiment with either how high or low you take it. Again, funneling your breath down into your abdomen, massaging your organs of digestion and creation. I really enjoy luxuriating in long spinal twists. It feels like with each breath that's taken, a little bit more tension releases, a little bit more motion is restored. And I especially enjoy the detoxifying effects of the spinal twist. This pose is particularly good towards the end of your cycle. Time for 5 more breaths here. Slowly bringing your extended arm in. A little engagement of the abdomen to help bring your knee back to center. And then shuffling your hips. If you wish, hugging your knees to the center as well. Perhaps rocking, or even circles. This can feel excellent for your sacrum. Sacrum is just at the base of your spine, and that's an area where quite a lot of women experience tension either pre or post-menstrually. So using your knees to gently press down into your sacrum, you're going to take circles right above that area. And it's like a massage. Once you've enjoyed moving in one direction, take it in the other. And see if you can tune in to the very subtle sensation of the articulation between your sacrum and your hip bones. Also, as you roll in circles, you'll feel your spine gently arching and curving. The closer you bring your knees to your chest, the more you'll arch. And then the further away, the more you'll curve. Good. And then it's time to rest. Setting yourself up for a comfortable Shavasana. Leaving your hands to either both on your belly or right hand over your lower abdomen, left hand over your heart. Tuning into these spaces of loving compassion, creation, perhaps hidden emotion. And allowing whatever is ready to be seen and felt to come to the surface, to be acknowledged and embraced as your own. breathing in the space underneath your hands, and as you do so, feeling a connection, a communication between these two vibrant centers of your being. Heart center and sexual center aligning. Holding yourself in a space of loving kindness. Take 3 more conscious breaths. This time filling your entire being with love and compassion. Allowing a gentle smile to emerge at the corners of your mouth. And then moving slowly, taking your space, stretching into fingers and toes, maybe taking a luxurious yawn. Bending your knees, rolling to your side. And then coming up to seated. You should find yourself in a calm and serene space. Aiming to bring this energy into the rest of your day and into the whole of your cycle. Bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart, allowing your thumbs to rest against your chest. Feeling the beat of your heart, breathing deep into your belly. And let's close with one Om from deep down in that belly space. So take one deep breath in and out, breathing in through your nose and out again. Breathing into chant. Namaste.